and you're listening to your audiences a lot more, and that you are listening to your teams much better than before this, and that your stories are serving public interest by not only just telling them what's happening, but also recommending and working with your audiences to propose certain solutions to some of the things that they have to struggle with on a day-to-day basis. So I'm hoping that the lessons that you learned and the experiences that you got from different colleagues, but also the opportunity that we had to share findings with you from our very recent study on the news consumption habits of millennials and Gen Zs also helps you understand what your audience is looking for and what sorts of things they'll pay attention to. I think one of the highlights for me about this cohort is the fact that we were very intentional about taking this program out of Nairobi. And I can tell you the energy in the room is nothing like I have seen previously. I think sometimes when we live in Nairobi, we take a lot of things for granted, And we were also very keen to ensure that you understood the context in which, you're operating in. And not just your local, context in Kajiado, no pun intended, or Kisumu, but that, you traveled. So for some of the participants, it was the first time they were actually crossing from one end of the country to the other, And we were very intentional about that. So that then you have a network of friends, of colleagues that you can, call. So if there's something that's happening in Kisumu, you don't start trying to find somebody. You know that, Simon or somebody else is in Kisumu or in Kakamega or in Busia or in Kajiado, and you form that sort of network. And I hope that it worked. Did it? Okay, great. So we were basically experimenting what that would look like, and I'm glad that it worked. But more importantly, that we took the training to the people. Okay, masomo mashinani, was something that we were also trying out. So I'm really, really glad that some of those experiments worked. I hope that as you're walking out of this program, that you have made new friends that you can leverage in your everyday work. Now, I think a lot has been said about, what happens. Do we come back? Are there other programs that we can sign up for? Absolutely. We have lots of programs. You now join the AKU family, and one of the things that you do as an AKU family member is you become an AKU ambassador. So speak of us wherever you go, not just about the great food that we offer, but also the classes, and the beautiful spaces that we have, and the learnings that you experience while you're with us. And I encourage you to look out for academic programs and also sign up for that. AKU's values are quality, impact, quality, relevance, and access. And in terms of responding to access, we are keen to ensure that people who merit to come to AKU come through the doors, even if they are struggling financially. And one of the ways that we do that is that from time to time we have financial support in the form of tuition, financial assistance that goes towards tuition to support students who would otherwise have not had the advantage of an AKU education, access good education. And I can tell you for a fact that many of us, who stand before you today, got the education that we did because somebody somewhere believed in us and provided some support for us. And that is something that AKU is very keen on doing. So let that not discourage you. Look up what's coming up. Some of our courses are fully funded, like this one. Others are partially funded. And then, of course, there are those that are open enrollment where, individuals coming into the program must fund themselves. And so with that, I wish you well. I congratulate you on successfully completing the program. And in a short while, it will be my pleasure to hand over your certificate.